Yo! How you doing? Rob Mills here, former Diamond Head guitarist. Got some good stuff for you today. The Prince. My favourite Diamond Head song to play live, The Prince. What a song, what a riff. That's the first couple of riffs. So we've got the intro riff. You're doing a hammer on from the 3rd to the 5th. You have to pick that in a particular way. The first one's a hammer on, then down, up, up, down. With those two sort of segments, after you do the hammer on, you have to down, up, up, down. Kind of syncopated thing going, and then down, up, down, down, and two more downs on the second time because you play the C5 and the D5. So remember to pick it in that way, otherwise you won't be able to do it. So that repeats a few times, maybe 8 times or something. Then we go into the verse riff. So you're playing an open A string and the 7th fret with your 3rd finger. 3 times strum. Then you're hammering on from the 5th to the 7th on the A string, and then a 5th on the D string and back to the 7th on the A. That little lick there. So, and then you're doing these double stops, what we call double stops, 2 notes at a time. We can lay our 3rd finger flat, and we're doing the 2 on the 7th fret twice. So on the 7th fret of the D string and the G string, and then we do our 1st finger flat, same kind of double stop, but with our 1st finger on the 5th fret. So, and then this little lick at the end, we do the 7th fret on the D, and then we do a hammer on 5 to 7 on the A, and then finish on the 5th string, sorry, the 5th fret of the D string. Now the second time you do the riff, you swap that, the end bit, so you go. That's the first time, then the second time. 5, 6, 7 on the A string, and then a double stop on the 5th string, the 2 notes. Now there's a difference between how I played it live and how Brian played it. Brian probably used to put a bit more like the you know, the muted notes, like a like that, but I used to play it pretty straight. Because if we both play the same thing, you know, 2 guitars, it's going to clash. So you play kind of like the same riff, but you do something slightly different, and then it gets the punch. Now the chorus. So it's an A power chord. So I'm borrowing again the D and the G strings with my 1st finger. So we've got 0, 2, 2 from the A string. F power chord. 1st finger, 3rd finger, little finger. You can do these as 2 note power chords if you want. I just prefer to do the 3. And then the D5 power chord, which is 5th position. And then we do this little lick. So we play the open A string first, then again we're borrowing this double stop on the 5th fret, and you keep your right hand moving whilst you're doing the mutes. If you're not familiar with doing that kind of thing yet, where you're syncopating and you're just like taking your finger off when you don't want to make the sound of the strings but you want the chunky sound, what I would recommend is literally just comp on maybe a power chord and just take your fingers off now and again and see how it feels to play like a... Try different position. Just experiments with playing like a set pattern. You've got a rhythm going on, yeah? So, the only other bits really are the breakdown bits and the outro. You got a bit where it goes. That's kind of like leading into the breakdown. I think that's after the 2nd chorus. Yeah, so we're doing these power chords, but I'm doing like this syncopated rhythm on the open A note. So that's the power chord, the A power chord on the 12th fret, 12th position. I'm only doing a 2-note power chord here as well because it just feels easier to do so. So we've got the 1st finger on the 12th fret, 3rd finger on the 14th fret, then we go 2 frets lower. So, then we do a bit more of the rhythm on the open A, maybe one more note. And then we do this, the D5 and the C5. Sounds like it's gone out of tune. That's what can happen with Floyd Roses. Then the breakdown bit comes in after you've done that 4 times, which sort of quietens down, so you want to maybe roll a bit off your volume. And when I played live, Brian used to play that riff and I used to play this funky thing on the wall where I was doing these little funky... So if you want to do that, which is quite funky, I don't think it's on the original, but it's what I used to do, and then Brian would carry on doing like a solo over it. But you just lay your 3rd finger flat across the top 3 strings on the 5th fret, and then you go 2 frets higher, and then back down again. So that's that bit. The only other bit, as far as what I was concerned when I played it, was the dual lead part at the end, which has got this really cool melody. Round about that part, Brian, we're both playing that, and then Brian takes off on like his own little solo. But yeah, if you want to do that along to the record, starting on the 2nd fret of the A string, 2nd fret, and then we go 4 and 5, and then we go fret 3 on the D string, and we go 4 and 5 again, fret 3 on the A string, and we come up to 5th position and we go 5, 6, 7, and then we slide in from the 4th fret on the G string quickly up to the 5th, so it's a grace note, what we call a grace note, where you don't really hear the 1st note, and then back to the 4th fret, and then start the whole riff all over again. Remember to get some vibrato in there as well. Always find 1st finger vibrato is better when you're actually touching this part of your knuckle onto the bottom of the neck and you got your thumb over the top.